Few places on Earth are as awe-inspiring as the Grand Canyon. You walk out of a forest of trees at the south rim and boom, there it is, out of nowhere. Well, there's a lot I could say about the significance of what you're seeing if you get the chance to stand on the rim of the Grand Canyon, but one interesting fact about where you'd be standing is that you're roughly 7,000 feet above sea level when standing on the rim. That's well over a mile in the air compared to where you'd be standing if you were at the beach. In certain places along the rim, you can barely see the Colorado River as a thin green line 1 mile in elevation below you. That's amazing to think about. But even more interesting is that when standing on the rim, you're standing on the geologic layer known as the Kaibab limestone. Why is that interesting? Well, limestone rock is made of crushed up marine creatures, ocean creatures like coral and shelled animals. Now, how in the world are ocean creatures found over 7,000 feet above the ocean in Grand Canyon, if not from the flood? The Redwall limestone at the Grand Canyon, also high above sea level, is loaded with marine creatures from brachiopods to crinoids, gastropods, trilobites, cephalopods, and fish teeth. Ocean-dwelling creatures like ammonites are even found in the tallest mountain range in the world, the Himalayas, over 29,000 feet above sea level. In fact, finding marine fossils high in the mountains isn't uncommon. Taking that single fact on its own, wouldn't those fossils seem to be evidence of a global flood that covered the mountains? How else would ocean-dwelling creatures reach high elevations? Well, actually, there is a way. There are many excellent, powerful evidences for a global flood, but marine creatures on mountains isn't really one of those. Why? Well, the Earth's crust is broken into large pieces. It's like a cracked egg. And some of those pieces smash into each other at what are called convergence zones. Mountains are gradually formed as that happens. Secular geologists argue that the rocks that comprise today's mountains were originally much closer to sea level, where oceans could cover them periodically. Secular geologists argue that those rocks and rock layers, already populated with marine fossils, were then slowly pushed upward over millions of years due to tectonic movement like convergence. If true, a global flood wouldn't have had to cover the mountains to deposit those marine creatures. So, finding fossils on mountains isn't necessarily a great argument for the flood, but finding fossils far away from coasts, out in the middle of continents, is a serious problem for conventional old Earth geology, but would be expected if the flood happened. Secular geologists again agree that the oceans once covered the continents, as evidenced by, for instance, limestone layers in the middle of continents. The problem is that they don't have a good explanation for how, without a catastrophic flood, the ocean could cover entire continents, not merely the coasts. From a conventional perspective, the continents would have to be pushed down below sea level for a long period of time to allow the ocean to cover the continents and deposit enormous amounts of material. But the cork-like nature of continental rock doesn't allow the continents to sink in that way. There's no natural way to do that. In other words, it'd be miraculous if it happened. The other option would be to quickly raise the elevation of the ocean floor. Now, while today the sea floor gets raised near the mid-ocean ridges as hot new ocean floor is slowly made, that process is so slow that the new ocean floor cools, compresses, and sinks lower in the mantle before it moves very far away from those ridges, effectively canceling out any sea level rise from tectonic activity. If the movement was catastrophic, on the other hand, as creationists argue in the flood, rather than slow and steady like conventional geologists argue, well, that changes things. Interestingly, creation geologists actually agree with secular geologists that the reason marine fossils are found in many mountains is because marine creatures were killed and their bodies buried in sediment at lower elevations that were later uplifted by tectonic movement forming mountains. We just believe it happened a lot faster due to the flood. Psalm 104, 6-8 even seems to be alluding to that very idea. The ESV says, "You covered it with the deep, as with a garment, talking about the earth. The waters stood above the mountains. At your rebuke, they fled. At the sound of your thunder, they took to flight. The mountains rose. The valleys sank down to the place that you appointed for them. Creationists believe that in the flood, the movement of the earth's crust was much faster than it is today, allowing mountains to form quickly. The ocean floor was overhauled with new, hot, and therefore expanded material, raising the sea level during the flood and allowing marine creatures to move to the middle of continents where they were killed and buried in the flood. Later, as the mountains rose in the flood, those marine creatures were quickly uplifted along with the rock strata in which they were buried. Bottom line, finding marine fossils on mountains isn't necessarily a strong argument for the flood. Finding marine fossils in the middle of continents, on the other hand, is powerful testimony that the events of Genesis 6 through 9 are a reliable narrative of the destruction of the earth in the global flood of Noah's day. For more information, check out our website at apologeticspress.org.